The night was colder than usual, and the flickering neon sign of Ruby's Diner buzzed against the empty street. Rain fell in thin needles, tapping on the glass as if warning the few inside that something dark was about to happen. Behind the counter stood Emily Carson, a 25-year-old waitress with weary eyes and a soft heart. Life hadn't been kind to her lately. Her father's medical bills had drained every cent she had, and her mother's sudden passing had left her holding the broken pieces of a once simple life. But tonight, Emily still smiled. She smiled at the trucker sipping coffee, at the old man counting pennies, and even at the storm outside. Because she truly believed that even in the darkest places, kindness could still survive. Speech Balloon CTA 1, Early Engagement. If you believe in kindness, courage, and stories that restore faith in humanity, hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to Kindness Universe, where real emotions live in every story. At 11:47 p.m., a man walked in. The door creaked open, letting in a gust of rain and cigarette smoke. Emily looked up with her usual greeting smile, but it faltered the moment she saw his eyes, cold, sharp, and mean. He was big, easily 6'3", with a leather jacket soaked from the rain, tattoos crawling up his neck, and a smirk that felt like poison. "Coffee?" he said. His voice was rough, demanding. Emily nodded and poured him a cup, her hands trembling just slightly. Something about him didn't feel right. There was no warmth in his tone, no hint of humanity. He watched her every move like a predator watching prey. The diner was nearly empty now. The old man had left, the truckers were gone, and the rain outside had turned to a roaring downpour. The fluorescent lights hummed above, making everything feel colder. "Rough night?" she asked softly, trying to keep things normal. He chuckled darkly. "You could say that, but maybe it's about to get better." She forced a polite smile, turning away to grab the coffee pot when suddenly he stood up. Too close. His hand reached out, gripping her wrist hard enough to make her flinch. "Let go," she whispered, fear cracking her voice. But he didn't. He leaned in closer, his breath sour, his smirk widening. "You think people like you get saved? No one's coming for you tonight, sweetheart." Before she could react, his other hand yanked at her shirt, the sound of tearing fabric cutting through the diner like a scream. Her tray clattered to the floor. She stumbled back, terrified, clutching the torn fabric to her chest. "Please," she gasped, tears blurring her eyes. He grinned. "Let's see who can save you." And then, the front door slammed open. A low rumble of engines filled the air as headlights flashed through the storm. 5 men in heavy leather jackets stepped inside, their vests marked with a symbol Emily had only ever heard about in whispers: the Hells Angels. The rain-soaked men looked around, their boots thudding against the tiled floor. At the front was a man in his late 40s, tall, broad, with silver streaks in his beard and a calm, dangerous confidence in his stride. His name was Max Steele Danner, the local chapter leader of the Angels. The abusive man froze, his grin fatting as Max's eyes locked onto him. "What the hell's going on here?" Max's voice was deep, steady, and cold. Emily stood trembling behind the counter, clutching her torn shirt. The biker turned to her for just a second, long enough for Mac to see the fear in her eyes. Mac's jaw tightened. "You touch her." The man tried to stammer something, but it was too late. In one motion, Mac stepped forward, grabbed him by the jacket, and slammed him against the counter so hard the entire coffee machine rattled. "You think it's fun scaring women?" Mac growled, his voice low, vibrating with fury. "You think tearing her clothes makes you a man?" The man tried to fight back, but Mac was faster. He twisted his arm behind his back, forcing him to the ground. Another biker, Tank, a mountain of a man with a kind heart hidden behind his tattoos, stepped in to hold him down. Emily stood frozen, watching through tears as justice, raw, loud, and righteous, unfolded in front of her. Mac leaned close to the man's ear and whispered, "You're lucky she's the one you hurt. Because if it were my daughter, he let the sentence hang unfinished but understood. Then, with one final shove, he let the man crawl toward the door, soaking wet, humiliated and terrified. "Get out," Mac ordered. "And if you ever show your face around here again, pray I don't find you first." The man stumbled into the storm and vanished into the night. Silence filled the diner. Only the rain dared to speak. Emily sank to the floor behind the counter, shaking, her breath coming in sobs. Mac approached slowly, his voice soft now. "Hey, you okay?" She nodded weakly, clutching her torn uniform. I didn't know what to do." He removed his leather jacket and gently draped it over her shoulders. "You did everything right, darling. You survived. That's what matters." Her tears fell freely now. Why did you stop? You could have hurt him." Mac looked away for a moment, then back at her with a steady gaze. "Because I've seen too much hate in my life. I ride with men who used to fight the world, but tonight we fight for people who need us. That's what makes us human." She looked up at him, eyes filled with gratitude and disbelief. "I thought the Hell's Angels were dangerous." He smiled faintly. "Sometimes angels have scars too." The rain eased. The clock struck midnight. Tank knelt beside her, picking up the broken coffee mug from the floor. "We'll stay till sunrise, make sure he doesn't come back," he said. Emily nodded, trembling but safe. She poured them coffee with shaking hands. They sat in silence for a while, the bikers, the waitress, and the hum of the diner lights. As dawn began to break, the storm clouds thinned, letting in the first rays of pale gold. The angels rose to leave. "Keep that jacket," Max said as she tried to return it. "Looks better on someone brave." She smiled for the first time that night. "Thank you. I don't even know how to repay you." "You don't owe me a thing," he said, stepping into the morning light. "Just keep believing there's still good in this world. That's enough." Days passed. The incident spread quietly through town. Some said it was just luck that the Hell's Angels were passing through, but Emily knew better. She believed that sometimes fate sends you angels in leather instead of wings. She kept Mac's jacket hung behind the counter. Every time she saw it, it reminded her not of fear but of strength. Of the night she learned that kindness can come from the most unexpected places, and that courage doesn't mean not being scared, it means standing, even when you're broken. One afternoon, a young woman came into the diner, bruised and trembling, running from a similar kind of darkness. Emily sat her down, handed her coffee, and gently said, "You're safe here." And in that moment, Emily realized she had become someone else's angel. Speech balloon CTA 2 before ending. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Universe. Every story here reminds us that even in a world full of cruelty, kindness still wins. As the years went by, the diner became a quiet refuge for anyone lost, scared, or broken. And behind the counter, Emily always wore the same old leather jacket, a reminder that heroes don't always ride in with wings sometimes. They ride in on thunder.